Okay, I found this matchup to be really interesting. It is Law versus Frankie. It's just interesting because each of these characters have insane strength feats and insane durability feats. So I'm interested to see what the author says versus what I think. So let's just see that. So they're talking about strength. Now, strength is a little bit wonky here in the sense that Law is like basic human level if you're not accounting for his devil fruit. But I think you should be, since that's, what gives him his power. So in physical strength, Frankie wins. But if you're like using applied force, basically, because what Law can do is he can take giant fucking pillars from the ground, have them go up in the air, put momentum into them, and have them go down with gravity doing most of the work, which I think would be maybe a little more brutal than what Frankie can dish out, honestly. I mean, he has his little super late beam cannon or whatever, but I think it's very debatable, but I'd probably give Frankie a slight edge here. But, then could you say that, could Frankie keep up with Kaido in the same way that Law was able to keep up with Kaido? That doesn't track with me. Like, I genuinely don't think that Frankie's super whatever the fuck cannon would be able to hurt Kaido in the same way that Law's Gamma Knife would. So I think that in theory Frankie is stronger, but in practice Law is stronger. So they're gonna give that to Frankie. It's an acceptable response. I don't necessarily agree with it, but it's whatever. Speed, you gotta give that to Law, because he with his room powers can fucking teleport. So it's not even close. Even with Frankie's motorbike, and even with the Thousand Sunny. But the Thousand Sunny really should not count towards Frankie. Even though he helped create it, we're not talking about the Thousand Sunny and Frankie versus Law. We're talking about Frankie versus Law. So I definitely giving this to Law. It makes a lot of sense. Overall IQ, so this one's very difficult. I would say it would be close to even, if not exactly even, for the sense that Frankie is a great shipwright. He knows how to navigate the seas, similar to Nami. He knows how to pilot a boat, steer a boat. I don't know, however you'd like to say that. And he's also an engineer and a fucking cyborg. So in the One Piece universe, he has to be crazy smart. But on the other hand, you have Law, who has insane technical battle prowess in the way in which he uses his devil fruit, but at the same time he's a doctor of the highest degree aside from maybe Chopper, so he's incredibly intelligent in that way, as well as the fact that he's a captain of a crew, so he has to know a lot of things towards that end, whether it's charisma or knowing the right thing to say, giving speeches, shit like that, and that takes a certain level of intelligence. So it's a toss up, but I think if someone put a gun to my head, I'd have to say that Law slightly outseeds Frankie, but for the most part I'd say they're even. They say Law. I kind of agree, but not really. Abilities, Law. I mean, it's easy. I ain't gotta explain myself. OP fruit is OP for a reason. Durability is another really difficult one because Law fought against two of the Emperors of the Sea, but Frankie can turn himself into a giant fucking mech. So I'm going to see what the author says first. They say Frankie... I think I disagree, because Frankie fights one of Kaido's commanders and is able to tank his blows really easily. In fact, in the end of the most recent arc, out of all the Straw Hats, Frankie actually does the best in terms of taking the less, or his defenses keeping up and not really being hurt by enemy attacks. But I just don't think that the damage output of a commander is going to be the same as the damage output of an emperor. Like Big Mom used in the anime the Thunder God move, whatever, with her Thunder Soul, whatever the fuck it's called, and Law just took that. Like, my man took that and he kept going for chapters and chapters and episodes. So I think I'd have to disagree, even though logically it makes sense for Frankie to be able to take more. When you consider the actual feats, I actually give that one to Law. Weapons and utility, I think that weapons certainly goes to Franky, undoubtedly, but utility, I think, goes to Law because of the way in which he uses his devil fruit, which is, a weapon. I mean, he even combines his sword with his devil fruit to create the gamma knife that really fucking hurt Kaido. So, I'd say it's split. I'd say weapons, Franky, utility, Law, and that would be the end of it, really. But they're going to give it to Franky, which, he's a tech master. He's a robot guy. I totally understand. Now the same winner, easily Law. I mean, for as much debate as this is, Franky's speed would not be able to keep up with Law to such a degree that Law would be able to just completely fuck him over. Yeah, low diff, Franky eliminated. That makes sense.